today was kind of the prime example of why we make a lot of the videos that we do make about the rules, and just the fact that they're too much of a discussion in an event like the Masters. We shouldn't, I think we all agree, we shouldn't be having 7 different instances where we're talking about rules on Twitter where guys are talking about how you're not legally allowed to have an earpiece in during your round because that's a penalty. How Colin Morikawa's possible penalty, Ricky Elliott, Brooks Koepka's caddy may have possibly had a penalty. I think I'm missing Tom Kim's penalty on 15. I mean, at what point are we going to have so many of these that it's just, I think we're already there where you're not going to have the amount of people watching golf. But let's start it off. Drano, why don't you give us your thoughts on it and which one kind of stood out to you?
It's pretty simple. Make it make sense. The cliche phrase that everyone uses, just make it make sense. Like the argument, let's talk about Tom Kim's, because I thought that was just one of the dumbest things ever. And I'm thinking about the video that I can make to prove that. First of all, half of the golf world, if not more, of amateurs or whatever, don't even understand what they would even do in that scenario. But if you remember, he hit one. His second shot was into the bunker on 15 on the right side of the green. He chips out, doesn't quite get out. It rolls down into the water. It's a yellow hazard. And so he has to go all the way back across the creek, hit it back up, when it's just like, okay, the reason that you can't drop right there where the ball went in is because it's closer to the hole. Is that the main rule and the thing that's, getting everybody upset about this thing? Like, who cares? Like,
well, the yellow hazard too, you have to keep the hazard in front of you on the next shot, but he went all like 40 yards to the left.
Yeah.
Nobody understood that alignment.
Yeah, he went to the Nelson Bridge. He didn't even go to the fairway.
Drew and I have played tournament golf our entire lives. I'm almost 40 years old. It's like 25 years of tournament golf. I've seen a million guys drop, and you guys were asking me for an explanation on why he was dropping there and what he was doing, and I couldn't give it to you. It is one of the single dumbest things I have ever seen in all my life watching golf.
You sent me the rule. You can't see this. You sent me the rule, and I read this. Mm-hmm. And it was like that guy's response on Billy Madison. I got dumber after I read the rule. I don't understand the rule.
I think what's happening, and maybe you guys will agree, I think the big thing between Tom Kim, Brooks Koepka, and Colin Morikawa, especially Morikawa and Kim, is that when you leave it up to the players, that's what seems to be the issue, because the players deem what they think to be right. Ultimately, they're usually always wrong. Their playing competitors don't care enough about their penalty to distract themselves from their low round that the players
explain, Drew, I don't know that everybody's going to understand what you just said.
Yeah.
Explain why the other guys matter.
Okay, so when you're trying in golf only, when you're trying to establish which rule has been broken, which penalty has taken place, the only other people that can help you figure out what you need to do next are your playing competitors. And if you turn to your playing competitors, usually 2 of them, and you say, hey guys, can you give me a ruling here? As long as there is an agreement amongst everyone in the group, according to the rules, you're fine.
Yep.
And what seems to be happening here is a lot of players take this into their own power, where they're like, oh, I've done this before. I've done this 100 times. I've been on tour. I know what the rule is. You see Patrick Reed do it. He's not innocent of it. You see Colin Morikawa do it. He's not innocent of it. And they seem to just leaving it up to the players seems to be the issue. So when these guys go to Adam Scott in their threesome and they say, hey, Adam, I need a ruling here, he's so focused on the greatest Thursday he's ever had in Masters history that he's going to be like, dude, I don't care. Yeah, sure, whatever. Go for it.
Yep.
And that is him agreeing. That's letting him off the hook. So that seems to be the issue.
Yeah. I want to go back to something that Drano said, which is so true here. And when we're making these videos, you've probably seen them on TikTok or Instagram. We get like 2,000 comments from people who try to accuse the golf grinders of not understanding the rules. we understand what the words on the page usually, right? We understand what the rules are, but we're lobbying for those rules to be changed because of what Drano said, for pragmatism, to be simple, to simplify the process of implementing a rule. So there's just some things that are out of whack right now with the rule book. One of them is the length of the rule book. One of them is that it's too involved. You can't understand some of it, but let's just be pragmatic and simplify so that players who are playing for millions of dollars on TV can get through their round, but also so you and I can go out on a Saturday and have fun playing golf.
It's there's a expression that has been brought into the golf world due to live that I think applies to this, where everyone's like, grow the game, grow the game, grow the game. If I sat down today and watched that golf event with my wife or with my buddy that played basketball and doesn't watch golf, and he watched that drop, how in the world am I supposed to explain that to that person? Hey, the ball went in here, but he has to drop 70 yards away. You want to grow the stinking game of golf? How about we make them actually intuitive so that I don't have to spend 15 minutes trying to explain Rule 71-AB to my wife or somebody else that has an attention span of like 90 seconds. Like, you've got to be kidding me with this. Grow the game. Like, it's so infuriating to me.
The simple fact that this is the only thing that all of us agree on should be very telling.
I think most all of golf all agree. I think most all of golf agrees. I think if I could double down on Coach Petch's point, I have a follow-up question for everyone here. Going back to my original point of leaving it up to the players seems to be the issue because they continually get it wrong. How do you you said intuitive, Coach Petch. How do you intuitively make this fix without affecting pace of play? Because if you give each group a marshal that's with them the whole 18 holes, it's just going to affect pace of play. How is there one rule universally for all of this to make it faster and make it make sense? What can we do?
Why are there two different kinds of hazards? Why are there two different kinds of water hazards? A water hazard is a water hazard. And I'm stealing that from GIF. That's not from me, but I completely agree with it. I mean, GIF, that's your kind of thing.
Yeah, no, it's a good point.
Like,
why red and why yellow?
Make it one hazard. Make it one club or two clubs, one or the other, right? You don't need to have two clubs for one thing and one club for another thing. That trips people up. And sometimes people take two clubs. People may as well just take one club.
Take your stance. Take your stance away from the hazard and take one club.
The drop, we just did a video on the drop. Like, why does someone have to drop it multiple times and then they place it? Of course,
and the ball rolls
so they get a place. Just let them place it the first time.
It's killing pace. It's killing pace of play. It's killing pace of play.
We went to a Corn Ferry event last week, and the rounds were taking 6 hours, and it's because there was water on the course, and every single drop took 8 minutes. And the biggest issue is that when you hit it in the hazard, it is meant to be a one-stroke penalty. That is the penalty. You get one stroke. So Tom Kim's ball goes in the water hazard. He was hitting his third, went in the water. 3 in, 4 out, hitting 5. What does it matter where he's hit? Like, he should hit from where the ball went in the hazard, where it went out of bounds, where it was on the cart, like whatever the penalty is. And then just overall, the drop is just the same thing every time.
If you've played competitive golf, everyone here knows that what's not shown on television is Tom Kim turned to his playing partners and he said, guys, what the hell do I do now? And all of his playing partners said, you got to drop back on the other side of the grass. And he went over to the other side of the grass and it got confusing, but they all agreed. And it becomes this 10-minute just mess. And it only happens in golf. How do we fix that? Very weird.
A new rule book. That's
one post at a time.
Yeah.
You're gonna get more posts from us about this, and eventually we're gonna publish something that makes sense.
Out of his body, he's tired, he's sluggish. He was like meditating on the driving range. He had that awkward bunker shot on 18 where I was like cringing. I was like, oh my god, he's gonna break his leg again and have to like crawl up the 18th hill. He just looks like a regular scratch golfer who is really, really struggling with mortality. this is probably one of the last times you'll ever see him at Augusta. I would say maybe 2 more. Does he even make it to 50? I don't know. It's really, really sad. It's a really far fall from grace. Dane and I, Drano, we were 100% right. Don't believe the hype. It's sentimentality. You know, you love seeing him, but he's done. He's done. It's hard. I've been a lifelong Tiger fan, but it's really sad. It's really hard.
Drano, I know you're waiting to do a victory lap on this one, so we'll give you the floor.
It feels nice, guys. This is I'm 1-0, which feels great. It's always great to start off with a win. No, I think, look, guys, he's had a lot of personal strife. Probably tougher for him to get out there and practice like he needs to. And really, if you looked at hole 3, hit a beautiful drive, kind of duffed the second time. It was just like a lackadaisical, not a great, getting to the green. He had a 5-foot putt for par, didn't even touch the hole, a dead hole. And when that happened, I was like, everything that I said was exactly, Drew and I should say, was exactly right. Like, he's just not there. He doesn't have his game right now, and we love him, but he's out.
Yeah, he's done.
Uncle G, you want to start our defense, or do we even have one at this point?
I mean, Drano was the same guy that got on me for picking Scotty Scheffler, and he's patting himself on the back and doing a victory lap because he said that Tiger, wasn't going to make the cut. And the odds were stacked against us, OT, Coach Petch. So I don't know. Like, it's, you could call it 1-0, but I mean, that's a double standard right there. I'm going to call it out from the last podcast. What are you going to take, Dane? The odds are 50-50 that the sun comes up tomorrow. Which one are you taking?
All I look at is the leaderboard.
I think if I could just defend both Coach Petch and Uncle G, but also kind of dance on your corpses a little bit. He hit driver the best I think I've ever seen him hit driver. He may not have missed a fairway. So in that sense, you guys are right. Like, he can play golf. But the larger argument here is these guys are taking it deep. You can't build a golf course hard enough for these guys. They will always make birdies if it is soft and there's no wind. And they abuse this golf course. And then there's just this 47-year-old Tiger Woods who's like a scratch golfer. And that's awesome. Like, cool. Go play in your club championship. Like, sweet, bro. But, like, you're 47. You have no touch around the greens. You don't make any putts. There's no cool shots that you can do anymore because you have one leg. Phil Mickelson's in the trees hitting it with his right hand. He's hitting driver off the pine straw. That's what a normal 52-year-old man looks like. Not this 47-year-old cripple that we all feel bad for because he played golf really well when he was 21 to 25. But
all right. We get it. Jesus, stop. Let it go, for crying out loud. Oh, my God. Enough. For flick's sake. Blah, blah, blah. Enough. He sucks. He can't walk up a hill.
It's brutal. It's hard to watch.
Oh, God.
But it was weird. It was weird because you think if somebody doesn't have a functioning leg, they wouldn't be able to, tee to green, do well. And I think he, like you said, he drove the ball fine today. He couldn't putt. And that's like the only thing he can work on, really, that he can grind at. So I don't know what's going on there. I don't know why when people get older, they lose their touch. Mine seems to always get better, but everyone else loses their touch somehow. So it's sad to see, but we'll see what he does tomorrow. What's he at? Where did he end up?
Sorry for rambling. I'm sorry for
rambling. I had a bunch of like great analytical points on Tiger, but Drew went for like a solid 3 minutes, and I just think I don't want to bore
go.
No, I can't. Nope. Tiger hit. Yeah, it's like Giff said. He hit a bunch of fairways, couldn't putt. It was weird. But he also just looked tough walking up the hills and stuff. It just was hard to watch, and the sweating was interesting. So, and of course, it makes Phil look like a stud. The fact that he did blow a chance to actually be in this. Don't you laugh at me, Drano. I see you over there.
Yeah. Let's go to that one, Petch. Like, we're all the ones eating crow because I think it was 3-1 against Lefty, and what an impressive round! What an impressive round from Lefty.
there was some serious eviscerating going on from this crew, and specifically one Bam Bam, and he looked good today. He played good. He made a double on 11, and he had another bogey in there that he could have avoided, but he's in it, and I think he's going to make the cut, and we'll see what happens. Drew, do you have anything to say for your evisceration of Phil?
Not going to ramble here like I did with Tiger. Just a lot of passion from the Tiger thing. But the Phil's it. I saw. This is my only reaction. I saw his back nine scorecard. It was the most Phil thing ever. Double, birdie, bogey, par, birdie, double. Just Phil being Phil. I love it. He loves it. He's awesome. I was wrong.
And this is going to lead us to the next topic, because I can't stress how much this made me angry, because we all know I am the biggest Phil fan ever, but he hit two of the most ridiculous, absurd, crazy, cool shots that I've ever seen in my life today.
That they didn't show on TV.
They didn't show. How do you not show them? He hit a ball right-handed, club backwards, and hit it like 150 yards, and then he hit a punch cut like 280-yard driver from the trees, and they don't show it. Okay, Uncle G, talk about, you watched a lot of it today. The bias. I mean, it was clear. It was obvious with the pairings.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not buying it yet. I mean, because they showed quite a few people from the Live Tour just throughout the day. Now, I'm sad that I didn't get to see those shots, because I was watching the coverage, but let's wait and see what happens tomorrow. Let's wait and see how they treat these people, because I'm not buying that there's a ton of coverage bias yet. And by the way, a few of the guys did wear their Range Goat shirts, so I was really happy about that.
Yeah. Giff also thinks that TikTok is not owned by the Chinese government and completely legit. Drano, what are your thoughts on the Live stuff?
Oh, 100%. Like Phil Mickelson is always shown on TV 12 months ago and before that. So the fact that most of his shots weren't shown, yeah, there's an issue there, guys. I mean, clearly someone behind the scenes is pulling strings like puppets and trying to pull the wool over our eyes. So look, show the players that we all want to see. I don't care what tour they're on. Like, I really don't care anymore. I don't care who's backing it. I'm not doing a forensic audit on this. I just want to watch good golf. Show us the players we love. I think that's the plea.
Drew, did you actually see the two shots? I feel like I might be one of the only people that actually, they were insane. Like, they're two of the best shots he's ever hit.
Yes. If it were any other player on the PGA Tour or just anyone under the age of 35, it would be all over CBS. Jim Nantz would be talking about it. The one in particular with the ball right up against the root, and he's lefty, so he has to go righty and then flip the club. But then he not only advances it, he like really catches it. That was so impressive. They don't get enough credit for that kind of stuff.
No, it was stupid. The ball's right next to a root. He hit it like 150 yards, and then off the pine straw, off the deck, rips a driver on 8. Like, no one's doing that.
The Live thing that you mentioned about TV coverage, and I said this in the first podcast that we did yesterday before the Masters, unless someone is in contention. And thank you, Lord, that Brooks Koepka is leading the Masters, tied for the lead, or else they wouldn't show anybody. But he's going to be a big focus.
Fair enough. So I guess the next logical thing to kind of talk about with all this is probably, I guess we're supposed to get some bad weather. Looks like it's going to be, there's supposed to be rain in the afternoon. So it does look like the afternoon wave today got the better draw. Anyone have any thoughts on it? I think that means that Rahm, Scheffler, and Brooks got the better end. It looks like Hovland may get stiffed in that he may have to play more in the rain and Saturday morning. So any thoughts on who we might favor if the weather goes bad? Hit it.
I mean, we've talked about the long hitters obviously being favored, but, you know, again, going back to our first discussion on Colin Morikawa, not as great on fast and firm greens. This opens him up. As everyone remembers, he was my pick to win this thing. So I don't know if we want to open up that can of worms yet, but he's 3 under right now. He's in a great position, and I think slowing those greens down a little bit only helps the ball striker and with his putting a little bit.
Giff?
Yeah, I think that any advantage that you give to Scheffler and Rahm is just devastating for everyone else in the tournament. And playing in the rain is going to suck. It really is in the afternoon. So those guys that are that went out late today, they're going out early in the morning. The course may not be as slow. I mean, the one advantage of the course softening up in the afternoon will be that the dialed wedge players, they're going to be able to score a little bit, but not if it's raining. I don't know how bad the rain's going to be pouring down tomorrow, but it might slow the course up a little bit. But man, I think these guys are going to go shoot some super low numbers tomorrow if it's not windy and not rainy versus the guys in the afternoon that get hit with weather. So that's really bad news.
It is. It's unfortunate. Drew, what do you got?
The weather, the rain. Phil Mickelson has a very quick turnaround. He has the PM tee time today, and now he has the AM tee time tomorrow. 52 years old. That'll be interesting just in terms of the live turnaround and the weather. I think from 1 p.m. tomorrow until the end of Saturday, it's just going to not stop raining. So that's going to be interesting. The guys who hit the ball the farthest, who are currently winning, Brooks, Rahm, Scotty Scheffler, and then I think Cam Young, because he hits the thing so far, are going to absolutely dominate. They asked Rory at the end of the round, is this good for you? He goes, it's not good for me because everyone else is going to take it so deep because it's going to be so soft. But yeah, the long ball hitters.
Or it's just not good for him to be at Augusta in a major. That also could be the reason.
Yeah. Even is not good.
No, but to your point, Bam Bam, the guys that have built the lead that we know can take it deep, especially when the course softens, that's who this is really going to help. So the rich get richer here for sure.
Absolutely.
And the guys going off at 7, 8 a.m., they're going to be done before it even starts. They have a massive, massive advantage. It's almost like playing at a British Open where you got the clear, better end of the draw. We might as well talk about the leaderboard. Rahm had just an insane day today. He 4-putts the first hole. Somehow still shoots 65.
Like double bogey on 1 and then shoots a 65. Are you kidding me?
It's a double bogey 4-putt, and then he putts lights out the rest of the day.
And yet Uncle G decided to go with Scheffler.
There's an even more crazy stat on Scheffler. Scheffler lost almost 3 shots to the field. He was minus 2.8 shots to the field with the putter today, and he's still only 3 shots back. That's equally as incredible. He literally, like Drew said yesterday, would have been better putting with his 3-iron, and he would have probably been in the lead.
It's also scary that he's got I won't call it the yips yet because I don't want to jinx him, but that's a little bit crazy that the putter is a little bit soft. And as we highlighted on the last call, he was yelling at his coach while on a putting green. What in the world is going on with Chef out there in the putter? How does it turn that fast?
I mean, it's crazy that they have that footage of him yelling at the putting coach. Lost 3 shots. That is so hard to do.
Similar to Tiger, he was just like yanking putts. It just looked bad. It was not Chef. It's crazy. He felt like one of us out there.
Listen to this stat. Okay. Scotty Scheffler. Oh yeah, you said the 3.5. Okay, sorry. This is 7th worst putting round of his career. 7th worst, and he shot 68. And he's 3 shots off the lead.
It's
3
wild.
shots off the lead. The guy, he's in great shape. But let's talk about other people on the leaderboard. The Jason Day. Top 4, he's 5 under today. That way to follow the data, guys, and pick him up because Jason Day has been just out of the game, for the last few years with injuries and things like that. So for him to come back strong, Lowry, who's also won a major before at 4 under, all these guys are in it.
I feel like
how about Adam Scott? Adam Scott at 4 under, woo.
His lowest Thursday round of his career.
Yep,
at the Masters.
And then the story that Sam Bennett I think all of us owe Sam an apology.
We need to
talk about that
Whoa,
later.
whoa. Hold on.
we need
Not
to
all of
talk
us
about
owe
that.
Sam Bennett an apology. Look, I love our pot geeter friend, and we'll continue to support him until the day that he or us dies, whichever one comes first. But Sam Bennett is a boss. He matches Scheffler playing right up against him. So much confidence, so much swagger. Say what you will about his swing. Unbelievable. Like, just absolutely impressive today.
Didn't he start birdie eagle?
Yeah.
He chipped in on one.
Yeah, so he starts birdie eagle, but what was even more impressive with Sam Bennett, which wasn't his swing, was that he did not bogey. He had a clean scorecard today. That is insane. The kid's in college. He goes to Texas A&M, great player. We know he won the Am, but that is a remarkable day for an amateur playing with these guys.
He had the ball on a rope today. Scotty Scheffler after the round was like, I was expecting him to be nervous, but he didn't look nervous, and that's coming from the best player in the world. So, unbelievable stuff out of Bennett. Really, really impressive.
I think this is probably why I'm Coach Petch and not playing in the Masters. But is it wrong that I would still rather just have a decent looking golf swing and actually be that good and play in the Masters? Like, is that am I messed up?
Hey, tell us your name is Coach Petch without telling us your name is Coach Petch. That's all I have to say about that, dude.
Like,
You're
great,
just
your scorecard's awesome.
reek of
How-
coach right now.
how-
You reek of coach.
How badly does Sam Bennett how high does he shoot tomorrow in the rain?
Well, that was going to be my next question: is who on the leaderboard is now that we know who it is?
Charlie Hoffman.
Who is the most likely Charlie Hoffman Award winner today? Looking at the leaderboard right now, let's go around the horn and give it out. Let's start with Drew.
I think it's going to be Hovland. I think he gags it pretty badly. I think he shoots like 75. I just don't think he's ready for it. I think Rom takes it so deep he can't. His head's spinning.
Justin Rose, Keegan Bradley, one of these guys. I could see one of them just blowing up tomorrow.
Interesting.
Uncle G, who you got?
Well, I'm going to spark it up a little bit. I'm going to say it's going to be Colin Morikawa. The course is not going to agree with him tomorrow. Look, the weather didn't hit today. They flew the dog in. They took the iron covers and put it on the dog's feet, and the dog was around today, but it's going to rain tomorrow. They're going to put the dog back in the kennel. He almost got busted for cheating, but he was actually
let's talk about
which
that.
we could probably talk about later. But I just think
There were several rules things today, so we'll batch that together. We'll put that together. Let's do that.
He's a great player. I actually like him. I think he's going to fold, and the reason why I think he's going to fold is because Drano picked him.
Look, at this point, I absolutely understand how you're grasping at straws. You'll remember that my picks were Colin Morikawa, Cam Young,
Sam Burns,
Sam Bennett, and Sam Burns. All of those guys are just, on the board. So I'm not trying to toot my horn, but the leaderboard's doing that for me. So
I'll toot your horn for you because I picked Max Homa and he was non-existent. What the hell?
Hey,
what's going on with Max Homa?
Who knows? But let's just say it right now. Drano is the league champion in one-day events. At the end of day one, he is the best. You're Charlie Hoffman. The blogger Charlie Hoffman. That's who you are. So go ahead and take a lap right now. You're blogger Charlie Hoffman.
Can we please fast forward to Sunday? I'm too excited for it. No, hey, let me get back to Homa. Did you guys notice that during a point in the round, around the turn, he put an AirPod in his ear?
The CBS interview mid-round. He's allowed to take it out while he hits the ball, but people on Twitter are losing their minds.
Do you know that's actually? We'll get to the rules in a minute because that is also a rule violation as well.
Oh, really?
It is.
Uncle G.
It is.
Uncle
I
G.
know. We'll get to the rules. We'll get to the rules in a minute. Hold on.
This is not about a rule. This is
what
he did not go onto the telecast. He was radioing in the club selection to Brooks Koepka's caddy.
Through Jim Nance. Jim
Sorry.
Nance was relaying it to Ricky Elliott.
what's going on, guys, with all the rules? People need to follow the Golf Grinders rules. We'll get into that later this year.
Golf.
Right?
Golf.
Go check
rules.
out our TikTok. Go check out our Instagram. We're setting this thing straight immediately because it's a freaking hot mess. What
What
this
is
is.
what is going on with golf?
We'll have a full. We'll do it in a second, but I do want to give one more minute. We talked a lot about Scotty Scheffler. Can we just give John Rahm a 1 minute John Rahm applause fest, because the dude is just outrageous. I mean,
well played today. That's
Playing
unbelievable.
different level of golf. He was 9 under par through 17 holes.
Yes.
yeah.
9 under par through
Listen,
17 holes.
This is actually important for all the youngsters out there. You get into a tournament, you double bogey the first hole. You have 2 choices. Okay, you can fold and you can be mad and you can throw your clubs, which John Rahm actually used to do. That's how he used to play. Or you can, oh, there we go. Or, okay, 1 second, guys.
No, that's great. That's
No.
so good. That's so good.
Guys, that was Aunt Mikan. Okay.
That's so good for the pod. That's
You got 2
gonna go
choices.
viral. That is so good. Keep going. Keep going.
You
Keep
can throw
going.
your clubs, or you can strap your shoes a little bit tighter. You can walk up the hill. You can go to the next hole. You can tee off, and you can go 9 under for the rest of the 17 holes.
Hey,
Okay?
can I?
I'm the type of player that does that. My Aunt Mikan, who just came in here, he's the type of player who does that. Drano, you're going home.
Guys, hold on. Are you sharing a room with your aunt? What is going on over there? Okay, anyway.
No, she's
No, this is spectacular. This is the stuff that people love. I love it.
Unreal. Drano, thoughts on Rob? He deserves this, because that was one of the best rounds of golf we've ever seen.
Yeah, the guy is as strong mentally as his game is physically. And what can you say? What can you say? The guy's got a heart of a champion. I don't know what else to say about it. I mean, call his swing whatever you want, a little unconventional. It's a 25% backswing. You know, he and Finau have the same coach, whatever you want to say, but unbelievable round by Rahm.
It may just be his time. He's been knocking at the door. He's been heralded his entire career. Greatest college golfer ever since Phil Mickelson. He's just been that guy. He won the U.S. Open. He's got some perspective with the 2 kids, which is a buzzword as a pro golfer when you have kids. And it's just his time. It feels like his time. I think he takes it deep tomorrow. I think he gets it to 14, 15 under.
And I can't tell you how close it was. I mean, I'm sure you guys were watching it, but he almost hits it in the water on 2 also. He hits almost like a running hook off of 2. And he's pointing left. He thought it was gone, and it's in the left side of the fairway. And then he hits the green, and he leaves himself this 4.5 footer outside the hole on the left, like your worst nightmare as a right-hander, left to right. And he buries it, and from there so he missed the eagle, and he made that for birdie, and from there he just never looked back, and he missed 2 putts inside of 12 feet, where he has a very realistic possibility of shooting 60 if he doesn't 4-putt the first green. I mean, it's one of the most outrageous rounds I've ever witnessed. It's just wild.
The low rounds of 63 at Augusta, right?
Yeah.
Brooks Koepka on 13. Coach Fetch did the same thing. Quack hooked his ball into Race Creek on the left side of 13 and made bogey. Uncle G, to your point, a lot of kids would let that derail their round, and it really is a testament to the difference between pros and amateurs. They just get right back on that horse. Jordan Spieth made an incredible par save in the same situation on I forget which hole it was, but I think it was 15 maybe. But they do these things that keep them in the round. You're right. Don't give up.
No, it was very impressive. And before we get into this last and final tangent, which I'm sure will be very entertaining, I want to just give him his due. But